Yeah, yeah, right here. Enigmatic Joker from the Random Entertainment Channel. Hello, how's everybody doing? I already start earlier this day because I'm a little bit early. I can better be early than too late. Yes, very welcome to all friends and companions of this channel. Yesterday I did a live stream about the special The Star Beast. Um, it's already uploaded on my channel, so you can watch that if you missed it. So, what is this channel all about? Now, sci-fi and fantasy fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food, drinks, music, and sport. Random, because we will discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies, series, books, and music. And we don't do politics or religion. Random, because we will broadcast on non-fixed times, actually on many different times. And you need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Today it was scheduled for 4 p.m. And now I'm gonna start it earlier. So that's the reason why you must subscribe to this channel because I'm sort of a weirdo. I broadcast when I can or will or whatever. So, random also because we will have no guests or different guests. It depends who wants to join me in the live stream in the panel. And if you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord or YouTube. Then we will look what is possible. Um, we have a saying here is where Wales is away. So the Discord, I mentioned it. Discord is the random entertainment channel. Tech Doctor Who. You can find me there. You can chat with there. There's a Discord with all their different teams. We will chat about Marvel, Star Wars, Doctor Who, also Blake Seven. But also we have you can talk about your favorite sports, your favorite food, your favorite music. I'm a big music lover. So we have much to discuss. We have much to enjoy. So I also have some playlists on my YouTube channel. Recommended is a series I did about the personality of the Doctor, and of course, we will discuss the 14th Doctor after this 2023 specials. Um, and now we are in a current series, a continuation about the companions of the Doctor. And today we have a live stream about the companions of the ninth Doctor. So that's all the household things. And I hope you really enjoyed this live stream also. So we will dive into the companions of the Ninth Doctor. And there are three companions, and I will mention them by name. That's Rose Tyler, that's Adam Mitchell, and Captain Jack Harness, three on-screen companions of the Ninth Doctor. So let's start. And I'm curious about if there is someone in the chat already. I don't see anyone. So, okay, let's kick off with Rose Tyler. Rose Tyler. There's much to talk about Rose Tyler. Um, Living in a London council's estate, Rose was raised and emotionally shaped by her mother, and that is Jackie Tyler, a widow who told Rose stories about her father whom she had no memory of. And while Rose had relatively happy young life dating with neighbor Mickey Smith, it took a bad turn when she fell in love with a young musician, and subsequent to moving in with him and dropping out of education. Her future perspective plummeted. After the relationship failed and Rose found herself working in retail, seeming to be destined to have a life of modernity and further retail work. She met the Ninth Doctor in early 2025. Yes, after a hiatus, the show began in 2005, and actually she is the first companion in the new tenure, New Woo, uh, uh, together with the Ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston. By the way, the character of Rose Tyler is played by Billy Piper, the main actor. So instead, the doctor blew up her workplace and then began traveling together soon afterwards. And she helped the doctor work through some of the pain he had as a sole survivor of the last Great Time War. And when you want to know about more about this, you can listen to the live stream about the personality of Ninth Doctor if you want some background detail about it. Of course, also the characteristics of this Time Lord. When she met the doctor, she was again Mickey's girlfriend, but that relationship immediately began to decay as she started to travel in the TARDIS because she was totally focused on the doctor and traveling with him. So yeah, the relationship began to decay. And as Mickey himself noted, she transferred her romantic attention to the doctor. You can see that already in the third series of the new Doctor Who. So a major facet of their travels in TARDIS was her assuming the identity of the Bad Wolf. In order to get back to the Doctor, after he sent her and the TARDIS together to protect them from Dalek attack, she was forced to stare into the heart of the TARDIS, which involved her in time vortex energy and turned her into a new and seemingly omnipotent being that could rescue the Doctor. She also caused a temporal paradox by leaving herself a trail of clues throughout history, and she was able to recognize leading her back, but also nearly killed her. And the Ninth Doctor absorbed time vortex energy and transferred it back to the TARDIS, triggering a regeneration. She thus became one of the three companions, along with Perry Brown and Wilfred Moth, to be the proximate cause of a Doctor's regeneration. She caused the regeneration of the Ninth Doctor into the Tenth Doctor. And we all know who the 10th Doctor is, David Tennant, also the 14th Doctor. Yeah. So, the end of her time with the Doctor came after she was pulled into a parallel universe during the Battle of Canary Wharf, where she became trapped, as travel between universes had become mostly impossible after the death of the Time Lords. She spent years trying to find a way back to the Doctor, and she found one and returned to her original universe in time to help the Doctor stop the Daleks one last time. In the process, the Mythic Crisis Doctor was created. And we already talked about that Mythic Crisis Doctor, by the way, yesterday in the last team of the Star Beast. So you can see the origins of the Mythic Crisis Doctor. So the Mythic Crisis Doctor was created, and after their victory, the Doctor took him and Rose back to Pete's world. Pete is the father of in our own universe is Pete Tyler, our own father, but in the parallel universe, there's also Pete. And that's actually is that in theory is that an adopted father in the other universe, but it's besides that. Explaining that this his major crisis identity needed her just as she had when they first met, and that being part human, he also grew old with her. She made in her new universe with her mother, brother, and that universe is Pete Tyler. And her closest contact with the Doctor for a period of her life arrived when another companion of the Doctor fell into her universe, specifically to comfort her, and settling into her new life with the Mythic Crisis Doctor. Rose later became pregnant and gave birth to a daughter. Years later, she was briefly transported to her original universe and met the 8th and 11th Doctors, after which she returned to her family. So that's in a nutshell about Rose. So, um, okay. There's not much to talk about the early life of the Rose, but I think I will skip that because I want to focus on the days on. No, I no, I think I will. There's something in Rose's childhood. A cat wandered into Rose and Jackie's apartment. Despite many attempts to get rid of it, the cat stayed and they gave in, with the cat living for 5 more years. This cat turned out to be Mitzi, the first cat in hyperspace, who Rose and the 10th Doctor encountered in the future on the planet Vastris. Recognizing her pet, Rose and the Doctor went back to the Powell's estate and dropped Mitzi off, and would go on to live with Rose and Jackie being renamed Puffin. In that game, we can see that in prose, the cat came back. And several times during her childhood, she was, unbeknownst to her, visited and watched over by her future friend, Ken Jack Harness, who we will discuss later in this live stream, and was stranded on Earth after being left on Satellite 5. And Jack did not say hello in order to avoid damaging their timeline in Utopia. You can see that. Um, okay. The first encounter with the Doctor. This is the start of the new Who in 2005. First encounter with the Doctor. When she was about 19, Rose had her first encounter with the Doctor just after midnight on 3rd January 2005, New Year's Day. And whilst walking home with her mother, Rose heard the 10th Doctor, who was dying from radiation, poisoning after defeating the Master and saving Wilfred Mott from behind her in TV, The End of Time. That's chronological. Um, but she was unable to see his face due to the shadow and snow. Mistaking him for a drunk, she asked if he was all right and told him the date when he asked. The doctor told her that 2005 was going to be a great year for her. You see that in the episode End of Time, by the way. And trusting the kind, joyful voice that seemed tailored for her, Rose believed in him and returned the smile before continuing on to the estate. As the year continued on, Rose found that she did not have the great experience the supposed drunk had promised her. However, she continued to believe what she had said, despite not believing the claims of the many other drunken men she had met in her life. As such, she kept waiting for the great year to begin for her. And again, she meets the doctor. On the 4th March 2005, at the end of her day's work shift, Rose was asked to give lottery winnings to Henrik Schaaf electrician Wilson. Unable to find him in the store's basement, Rose wandered into a storage room where she was almost killed by living plastic creatures called Autons. And the Autons we see in it in the first time in the 3rd Doctor in his first adventure of the 3rd Doctor, John Pertwee. And again, we see the Autons here in this story, the first story of the 9th Doctor. And so when the 9th Doctor pulled Rose away and ran with her, and so escaping together inside a lift, he pulled an Autumn's arm off, and the Doctor warned Rose he was going to use explosive against the relay, transmitting to the Autons, and told her to run for her life. The Doctor destroyed the shore shortly after Rose escaped, leaving her jobless. And meeting the Doctor again the next day, when he tracked her down to her flat, Rose still had the arm from the store, and the arm latched into her face. After a small skirmish, the Doctor deactivated and left, telling Rose to forget him. After searching for online information about the Doctor on Mickey's computer and coming across a website titled Doctor Who, Rose met with his webmaster Clive Finch, who showed her clippings of the Doctor's appearances throughout history. Though she ended up dismissing him as conspiracy freak. She returned to Mickey's car, where unbeknownst to her, she had been replaced with an Alton duplicate. They went out to get a pizza at a restaurant. There, the duplicate of Mickey attempted to question Rose about the Doctor, despite her wanting to figure out her future employment, until the Doctor himself arrived and pulled his head off in a scuffle. So that is all in the first episode of called Rose. Yeah, it's named by her. Um, we go further. Then she travels with the Ninth Doctor after this story of Rose. She wants to join and be a companion. She left before returning. She was told that the TARDIS traveled in time, in space, and she wants to travel with the Doctor. So she kisses and thanks Mickey goodbye before running into the TARDIS, and then you see enjoyment. Now they start the adventure. They start the adventure with the Ninth Doctor. So they travel and travel. They go first. They go to the year 5 million or something. Yeah. So we go further and we go sideways to Adam Mitchell, but because one of the travels with the Ninth Doctor, they met Adam Mitchell. And Adam Mitchell is a young English computer genius, a researcher in the employ of the American geocomtex billionaire Henry von Staten by 2012. Um, After Van Staten was outed from geocomtex for the Middletron incident, Adam became a companion to the Ninth Doctor at Rose Tyler's urging. And however, Adam disgraced himself by filching information from the future with intent to alter his timeline. And the Doctor spurned Adam from accompanying him any further. And also, we can see after years after being abandoned by the Doctor, Adam plotted to kidnap various companions from multiple incarnations of the Doctor with a Trimus Master. However, when the Master made a plot to destroy the universe, Adam sacrificed his life to stop him. Was buried with honors. So Adam, when he meets the Ninth Doctor Rose Tyler, the Ninth Doctor and Rose Tyler met Adam in the year 2012, I already mentioned, after they were captured in the vault. And Henry van Staden paired Rose up with Adam, as they were both English, and she persuaded him to take her to the Dalek. And when Dalek got loose and went on a rampage, Adam found himself running from it with Rose. And he escaped before the bulkheads were lowered to contain the Dalek, leaving Rose behind. Lassie Deco. When the Doctor was forced to release the Dalek to save Rose, Adam revealed his alien weapons so the Doctor could arm himself. And afterwards, Rose asked the Doctor to take Adam along with them in the TARDIS. And despite the Doctor's skepticism about Adam as a potential fellow traveler, he agreed to let him aboard the TARDIS. You can see that in the episode of Dalek. Um, Nevertheless, Adam's travels with the Doctor and the Rose would not last long. Visiting the year 200,000, Adam was overwhelmed by the wealth of information and technology available to him, and immediately gave in to the temptation and greed. And desperate to gain all the information that Thor's great bountiful human empire had collected, he learned that only those with an implant could access the data. So um, he was thinking, okay, he had a top of the line computer interface port on InfoSpike installed in his head. When the implant activated to access computers, his head opened up, revealing part of his brain, and the implant was activated by a snap of the fingers. He tried to transmit information back to 23rd century Earth with Rose's superphone. Um, yeah, when Endem tapped into the computer systems, he inadvertently gave the Jackerfest knowledge of and nearly access to the TARDIS. So that's not so fortunate. One of Satellite's 5 journalists, Katy Keck, freed Adam, prevented Jackerfest from obtaining the TARDIS key, and invented heat to floor 500, killing it. Learning of Adam's transmission of information and his additional breach of trust, the doctor angrily returned Adam to his home. So, and Adam weakly tried to pin his mistakes on the doctor being the one in charge, which quickly turned to apologetic pleading. The doctor restored the answer phone which had received the information from the future, after Adam attempted to feign ignorance about it. He observed that Adam would have to live a quiet life lest someone discover the implant in his head. Dissect him to find out where it came from. After the doctor and Rose left, Adam was met by his mother, who, when talking to him, clicked her fingers. As his head opened up, a look of shock and horror appeared on her face. We see that in the long game episode, by the way. The doctor also left a letter for Adam. Yeah, I can send you a StreamYard link so you can jump in. Yes, have a moment. Have a moment. StreamYard link. Bum, bum, bum. This is the commercial time of this random entertainment channel. Yesterday I did a live stream about the Star Beast special. The video is already uploaded on this channel. You can watch that special. If you want to know more about the personality of Doctor, you can visit my YouTube channel. There's a playlist, Personality of the Doctor. We did live streams about it. With most of the time, Sadeko was also in the live streams talking about Doctor, and we had also other guests on this channel. And now we are in a series of the companions of the Doctor, and now we are arrived by the ninth Doctor. For previous incarnations of Doctor and the companions, you can always there's also a playlist. Yeah, there you are. Um, Message sent. Yes. Yeah. Nee. Okay. There's a link on its way via mail. Okay. And we have a guest at to stage. Hello.
No, is my sound okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So I came a bit late.
I
Sorry,
started.
sorry. I just you just heard an echo because I think I had the other tab open. So you can hear me now, all right?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. All right. So how far have we? Because I was a bit late to this. So how far have we got into the Ninth Doctor era and his companions? So have we talked about Rose?
Yes. A little bit.
All right. Right. Well, could we kind
Hello?
of go a bit over it for things we might have missed? Right. Rose. So I mean, my
I
impression of
started.
Rose was that,
Yeah.
I mean, my impression of Rose
Oh,
was, she's kind of typical, kind of, well, she's very much shaped by a family background. Like
yeah.
she never had a father. Well, her father died when she was young,
Yeah.
and she's yeah, kind of family is not very terribly aspirational. I mean, they got all these kind of plans to make money or whatever, but Rose, it feels like she never quite had. Well, she had higher ambitions, but she could never quite get them to work. I think she said something about in college she got involved with some guy and she kind of prioritized the relationship over her studies, and so she never kind of got far. Now, you did mention the business with Adam,
Yeah.
and the thing is, he's kind of the contrast. He's the one who's been to university and achieved a lot, kind of thing. I think, in a way, what was being shown by the dichotomy between the two was there was this kind of idea in Britain at the time that it was a very desirable thing for kids to go to university. Like, it was trying to get every kid to go to university. That was kind of we had the Labour government at that time. We had Tony Blair in government, and he was kind of talking about the importance of education and trying to make sure everyone, from whatever background, got to go to university. That it wasn't just an exclusively middle class thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, in a way, it almost meant that. And I feel Rose represents this idea that if you hadn't made that transition, you were kind of made to feel like a failure, like you didn't measure up. Like everyone was going to university, and if you didn't make it to university, then your life was a bit kind of you were seen as lesser. There was a kind of snobbery about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in a way, by extending the idea of the opportunity of going to university to the working class, it meant that there was now kind of a snobbery about it. It's like the snobbery kind of extended downward. Like, you could kind of, if you were working class in the past, you could probably feel like, well, university isn't for us anyway. I'm going to do the same job my parents did.
Yeah.
And there's a pride in that. Whereas now it's kind of there's not so much pride in that. And so I think what Russell was kind of saying was, that Rose could be someone who hadn't made that transition, but she still had kind of untapped value and potential.
Yeah.
And I think with Adam, it's kind of almost saying that that Adam's kind of very intellectually achieved. Like he's educated. He's achieved a lot in education.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the story's almost saying the Doctor doesn't value that. Well, the Doctor realizes that Rose has qualities that make her a better companion than Adam. Because Rose is loyal, she's selfless, and all that. Whereas Adam's just out for himself.
Yeah. That's right.
He's got that. He's got the kind of university mindset of I'm academic. I can do it myself. I can work independently. He's got this kind of entrepreneurial, independent mindset.
Yeah.
The Doctor's kind of thinking, well, that's why you're likely to go rogue and do your own thing. Whereas Rose follows. She's loyal to a friend. She does what's good for the group.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like I think there's kind of commenting on that dichotomy. So when the Doctor says, I only take the best, I take Rose. I've got Rose. I've got Rose. What he means is, she's the best despite the fact she's not done as well at university as you have. What makes her the best is that she's got the right compassionate values, the right doctorish values. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Also,
Yeah.
that's another hypothesis is that the doctor is that's always there seems always be the question. The central question is the doctor already all knowing? Can he foresee things in the future? So that what I mean to say is, if the case is that he can know the future and then he also know companions, then he can select them, or the other way the companions are attracted to him, because of the whole bad wolf thing. If you got that arc in the first series, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Because
think
Rose is in that series is also the somewhat guardian of the Doctor, or there's something that rescues the Doctor in some way.
the Seventh Doctor had a certain omnipotence about him.
Yeah.
Like he could plan ahead, and he could kind of he felt like it was sure what was going to. He felt his enemies were predictable, and he could lead them to act a certain way, and he could get things to play out the way he planned.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the omnipotence of kind of knowing future history as well. Whereas with the Ninth Doctor, you feel like, firstly, there's the disillusionment of the Time War. Like he's not sure what he believes in anymore. And also, I think because of the Time War, time's in flux, so it's all a mystery to him about what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And as we saw in the long game, sometimes he misses the fact that if he interferes here, he might actually set history on the wrong path completely.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, when he first lands in the on Satellite 5 in the long game,
Yeah.
he says, "My watch is wrong," which I think is implying that he was expecting the future to be a certain way. And when he got this instinct that it wasn't, he felt it was necessary to try and put it right. But what he didn't realize was that he wasn't putting it right. He was putting it even more off course than it already was.
Mm-hmm. He realized later that.
Yeah, he kind of he's kind of shown the future of Future Earth, 100 years on in Bad Wolf,
Yeah.
and he's looking at this polluted world where the whole world lives in fear, and there's been a complete media blackout, and he's told that's when everything went wrong, and he's like, but I made this world. I was supposed to help save the world, and I've made it worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's kind of quite a reckless doctor, but he's kind of realizing at the end how reckless he's been.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like a continuation of what we saw in the Eighth Doctor, where the Doctor was saying kind of, I believe in direct action now.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Lucy Miller to the Death, that's what he says about the Daleks. He says, I've lost that kind of instinct for direct action, which might be what it might be important to just go to direct action, because then you solve the problem. You get rid of the Daleks without any of the usual moral agonizing.
Yeah.
And for much of this season, we've seen the Doctor who's kind of given up on that and just decided to go straight for reckless action. Direct action, but it's like we're often shown that it backfires in some ways. And I think Rose is kind of sometimes she's the one who. I mean, what do you think of this? That in some ways, Rose is kind of his conscience. She's the one who's looking at his behavior.
Yeah, but she's also ready for action because she has a job who is not more challenging for her. So she's looking for new adventure. So you can see that in the first episode, she runs with a big smile into the TARDIS because she wants to have some adventure, some extraordinary things.
Yeah, she does, but she wants the adventure, definitely. But there are moments where she sees the Doctor act in a way that gives her pause. Like when he
Yeah, okay.
when he stands back and lets Cassandra die, he's like, you know, can't you help her? Can't you show mercy to her? And
Hmm.
the Doctor's like, no, I've decided no. I've decided no more chances. And
So
and then
for clearance, we talk about the Ninth Doctor now, eh? Or is it also the tenth?
yeah, we're talking about the Ninth Doctor. Yeah, we're talking about his early
Yeah.
adventures. In the end of the world, he's still quite ruthless, and Rose is shocked by that.
Yeah, that's right.
In the in the under in the Unquiet Dead, this time she stands up to him. He wants to kind of use Gwen as a vessel, as a medium to allow the Gelth into the world, into this
Yeah.
dimension, into this dimensional realm. And she stands up for Gwen and says, I'm not going to let you do this. It's like it's not just I'm shocked at what he's doing. I'm going to take a stand now. I'm not going to let this go on. And she
Hmm.
takes a stand again in Dalek when she says to the Doctor, I'm not going to let you just shoot this Dalek in cold blood. I've seen it change. It's evolving. It's not the monster it was.
Yeah.
And this is kind of when she realizes that his combat mode, he's still stuck in combat mode. And this is kind of where it starts to break for him. And he has to answer to her about why he was going to do what he was going to do. And it's like he runs out of answers and he realizes that he's fighting a war that's over still. That's over
Yeah.
already, thing. And so that's
Yes.
kind of what's going on. She's in a way she's being his conscience. She's kind of reminding him of the moral line that he keeps kind of crossing.
Yeah. Very important fact. Yes, I can see that.
Yeah.
They're the conscience of the Doctor.
Yes, I'd say so.
But also
Because you can
is
kind of
all
see it still in him. Like
yeah.
in Dalek, like when he's confronting that Dalek and he goes, I watched your fleet die. I watched it happen. I made it happen. And then he kind of turns away and he's kind of almost sounds remorseful about it. It's like, goes, look, I didn't have a choice to do it. It's like there's still kind of a lot of mixed up emotions in him. He's not just this ruthless, vengeful figure. He's got the revenge, but it's conflicting with the guilt, and it's kind of come to terms with what he did, and sometimes he relishes what he did, sometimes he's still horrified by what he did. It's all these mixed emotions about it,
Hmm.
and I think Rose is kind of there to remind him of the compassionate side of him.
Yeah. So more about Rose in the end of the series one. We see that whole of idea of the arc of the Bad Wolf.
Yes.
We see that
Now
you can see that. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question. When you first saw the series one, the Eccleston season, you saw these hints about Bad Wolf. It was this kind of repeating meme throughout the episodes. Now, before it was revealed what it was about, did you have a theory?
No, actually, no. I thought,
Okay.
yeah, what? I'm more like, what is Bad Wolf? What I was not,
Well, I mean,
I didn't associate with it with the word Rose first time. I think it was more a hidden enemy or something. I thought in the beginning.
I see. I had a
Yeah.
theory. I had a theory that was something to do with I thought that the end of the season was going to be set like in prehistoric times or something,
Yeah.
and that somehow some final battle was going to take place there that made an impression on the original apes that used to be us. The very primitive man would see this battle, and somehow the word Bad Wolf would kind of transpire from that. And basically what we were seeing throughout the series was this kind of race memory being awakened by the TARDIS, because it always seemed like there was the kid who graffitied Bad Wolf on the TARDIS, and there was Gwen saying the big bad wolf when she reads Rose's mind. So I thought it's something to do with the sight of the TARDIS, maybe. That was my theory. It turned out to be wrong, of course.
Hmm. Yeah, well, no, but um, during this series one, we have also Captain Jack Harness. We'll talk about later.
Wait, we
But
didn't talk about Rose's, like in her final in Bad Wolf Parting the
yeah,
Ways.
yeah, that's what we do want to talk about. Before we go to Jack and the Harness, there's more to talk about Rose. But at the end, indeed,
Yeah, yes, because Rose finally makes the big decision of the season, doesn't she? She's
yeah,
like, when she joined the Doctor, he warned her this is going to be dangerous. You're going to be putting your life on the line.
yeah,
And I think she decided that she was willing to risk it for the adventure. She did say, I wouldn't have missed it for the world. It's like this. She's young. She's never going to see. She's never seen sights like this before with the Doctor, and so it's like I wouldn't miss it for the world. And by the end of the season, she's kind of sent back to Earth. Like the Doctor decides to safeguard her by sending her back to Earth and saying, "Look, I'm going to make this final battle with the Daleks. I'm not going to survive. You have to go home and live on. Um, and if you want to honor me, live a good life, have a fantastic life, And
yeah,
but she can't accept that, and she's thinking, look, I still need to be there in that battle. He needs me.
yeah.
You know, the whole of society, the whole future society of Earth needs me, and
Yeah.
so she spends much of that story determined to get back to back to the TARDIS. It's like she's been given an out. She's been given a chance to survive and live on a life, and she says, "No, I'm going to risk my life to do what I believe is the right thing."
Yeah.
And she's determined. That's the thing. We've seen that she's determined to get back to the Doctor. To open the TARDIS, heart of the TARDIS, and that's how she goes back. She just it's a moment of full independence at this point. She's kind of Mickey's telling her no, don't do it. Mum's telling her no, don't do it. And the doctor of course told her no, stay out of it. Just leave me to fight this final battle.
Yeah.
And she's saying she at this point she would have in the past maybe in the past she would have kind of kowtowed and said, okay, you're right, there's no point going. But this point is like, I don't care what you say, I'm going to do it. It's this kind of the moment of full maturity and independence.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's very interesting what you say about because it places everything in your in right context, because we want to know as a viewer, as fans, but in what context you must see Rose. It's very valuable what you say about her, because you can place that in adventures she has with the Doctor. That's a good information about how about her behavior and background, why she does some things in adventures with the Doctor. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
very
it's
good.
rewarding to see a character come to that point. To
Yeah,
see a character develop over a season and kind of and see that moment of like she's making a very inspirational speech, and sometimes it's nice to see characters make an inspirational speech about making a stand and saying no and
yeah.
not giving up. And that's the thing, she spends that story not giving up.
Yeah, and I think also Rose, played by Billy Piper, is also she did a great job then back then in 2005 when the Who started after hiatus, because it was a good introduction for the fans. So yeah, she's one
Yeah,
of, in my opinion, she's one of the strongest companion characters in New Who. Because
mhm.
she kicked a really good off a really high standard. That's why I think that Russell T Davies decided to have her also in series two with an 10 Doctor. So she was also the companion for 10 Doctor. Maybe we can discuss that more now.
Yeah.
In context of the 10th Doctor, what person of um, Rose is in the combination with the 10th Doctor. There's another dynamic than the 9th Doctor.
Well, we could talk about that next time, couldn't we? We could save that for
Yeah,
the next
we could
time
talk
where
next
we
time.
discuss the 10th Doctor.
Yeah,
It kind of is true that
I think
Rose with
I
the 10th
think
Doctor is
yeah.
Rose with the 10th Doctor is kind of almost it's a different dynamic. It's almost a different
Yeah,
character.
yeah. We discussed that earlier in the live stream about the personality of the Doctor. We already mentioned that there's another dynamic, 9th Doctor Rose and 10th Doctor Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I will do. I think it's more to talk about Rose in. There's so much to talk about Rose in one live stream that I think I will do an continuation, another live stream about Rose. Um, but
Oh, what you
we'll
mean?
discuss further. Now, because I had planned to do this live stream for 1 hour, so we have now 50 minutes for this live stream, and we can talk
Okay.
further about Rose next live stream.
Okay. Cool.
That's
Right.
what I mean. So can we
So,
talk about in combination with the 9th Doctor? Are there more things interesting about Rose in combination with the 9th Doctor?
I think it's all covered now.
Yeah,
We could
because
move
the
on
bad
to
wolf thing, the bad wolf thing. Then the last scenes with the 9th Doctor.
well, yeah, she figures out what the meme means.
Yeah,
She realizes that once she lands back on Earth, it's kind of seeing the meme that gives her hope, that tells her, I'm still being told about Bad Wolf for some reason. It's a message of some kind from the TARDIS, maybe.
yeah.
And because it's a message
Because
from
we
the
can,
TARDIS, she gets the sense that there's still hope that she can do something good.
yeah. Let's go in the last episode of series one. You see that she absorbed the time vortex into herself.
Yeah,
That is the thing of about becoming the bad wolf. It
yeah,
started with the absorption of the time vortex into herself.
yeah. She kind of becomes all powerful,
Yeah.
and there's almost a vague sense when she says, "I want you safe, my doctor." Is that Rose speaking, or is it the TARDIS speaking? It's almost like, in some ways, she's
Yep.
become the personification of the consciousness of the TARDIS
Yes, that's right.
that still really cares about the Doctor. Maybe
Mhm.
there's an ambiguity there, I think, which is nice.
Yeah, that's in the episode "Parting of the Ways," by the way, for listeners.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, what would you
so
say about it?
there's you already mentioned about that Rose is so sort of conscious of the Doctor. You mentioned that.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think also as I think about what you said. Um, the Doctor was traumatized by the Time War, but
Hmm.
Rose had also a difficult youth because she had no father. She was raised by a single mother,
Hmm.
and she was really was looking for some stability in her life. And she was not satisfied with her life till she met the Doctor, and then all began.
Yeah.
And suddenly, as she was a girl, and when she met the Doctor, she became a woman. She was already
Yeah.
responsible, and until that time, she was not so responsible, not so caring. But after that he met the Doctor, she became more responsible. That's what you said.
Um.
Became more
Well, I think.
caring, more responsible.
Well, I think she was responsible at the beginning, but her idea of
Yeah,
responsibility was to be, the breadwinner for the family, bring money home from work,
yeah,
do a
yes,
job.
that's right.
She was kind of she was doing the responsible thing, but she did yearn for something bigger.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's kind of when she her time with the Doctor is about kind of booking that and deciding I'm going to do my own thing. And by the end, she is her own person. And she's her idea of responsibility is following what her heart says.
Yep.
So her heart says, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to do what I'm going to go for my ambitions. I'm going to go for my dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not just satisfied being a menial job worker anymore.
Yeah. She wants to be responsible on a greater scale.
Yeah. She wants to make a difference, a positive difference.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
We probably need to start discussing Captain Jack now, don't we?
Then we do the Captain Jack and another live stream, I think.
Well,
because of the time.
We've got time, haven't we? Because he was a companion.
We can make a beginning with Jack Harkness.
Yeah,
a little bit, and on the next live stream we go further into.
It'll have to be a longer live stream.
Yeah, Rose, and this is a bit of kick off of Rose, and a little bit of kick off for Jack Harkness, because there's no more talk about Rose and about Jack Harkness. But we can do a kick off for Jack Harkness. Yes.
Okay. Have you got some notes on him?
Yes, I've really got some notes on him, because we can see in the first series that Captain Jack Harkness meets the Ninth Doctor and Rose, and long story short, he becomes immortal in the last episode of the series 1.
Yeah, like when we first meet him, he's a con man, isn't he? He's just this 51st century hustler who's kind of trying to trick them into buying this. He's trying to trick the Doctor and Rose into buying this derelict future space tube. Space vessel. And it turns out that the space vessel itself contains nanogenes. And it's as a result of the nanogene spreading, they're basically converting the population of London slowly into these kind of replicas of this gas mask boy who's he was badly injured in the war, badly brain damaged in the war. And it's like the because the very first human that the nanogenes encountered was this dead boy who was wearing a gas mask.
Yeah.
And the nanogenes didn't know anything about what humans were. Oh, you my mummy, yeah. So when they recreate the boy, they bring the boy to life, but they have the idea that this is what humans are supposed to look like. That humans are supposed to have this gas mask, and they're supposed to be a replica of the boy that they've repaired. So it turns them all into zombies who are just like him and are just like him, are searching for their mummy. And they're not quite fully human yet. And so as a result of this, Captain Jack realizes that the damage he's done.
Yeah.
And he's about to do the cowardly thing of scoping away and escaping, but he comes back in the end. And he takes his he manages to capture this bomb that was about to drop on the land site. And so he takes it in his ship.
Yep.
And he kind of becomes resigned to the fact that the bomb's going to go off and it's going to kill him. Until the Doctor and Rose land on a ship and give him rescue.
Yep.
So basically, they take him along with them.
Yes, that's right.
And it's really in Bad Wolf and Pardon the Ways. that you really see kind of Captain Jack is kind of turned from this self-serving coward into someone who actually really cares about Rose and cares about the Doctor, and he cares about doing the right thing. And like, because the important thing is the Doctor sends Rose back home for safety. And Jack's asking, "Where's Rose?" And he's saying, "I sent her back home." And it's like Jack's kind of realizing that well, he's not been given an out here. Like the Doctor gave Rose an out, and he realizes that the humanity's doomed, and that the Doctor's going to have to press the Delta wave. That's going to destroy all humanity. And like at first, he's horrified. But then he kind of says, "You know what? You got to do it. And I don't care about dying. I don't care if this Delta wave kills me as well. I'm going to go out fighting." And so that's where we see, Captain Jack's kind of military thinking come in.
Yeah.
But it's also his kind of he wants to see humanity survive. And he knows that that will only happen if the Doctor presses that switch. So he's resigned to self-sacrifice.
That's right.
But as it happens, Rose makes him immortal.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
he dies in battle, and then Rose revives him.
Mhm. So, and
So much of the rest.
actually, Captain Jack Harkness has his own spin-off in Torchwood.
Yeah.
The first 4 series and then they have his own team. So that's a thing for later to discuss that. But I want to also recommend that to watch that Torchwood, because you can see some things. Yeah, that's why it's called a spin-off. You can see some details about the Doctor himself.
It has its moments.
But, actually, there's some crossover sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does. There's it's series 3. That's when like much of series, the first season of Torchwood is kind of a prelude to Utopia. Because you kind of hear the TARDIS material, the sound of the TARDIS materializing at the end of series 1, and Captain Jack runs out to rush to obviously to chase the TARDIS.
Yep.
And it turns out that was actually leading to the opening of Utopia.
This is right.
the main
Yes.
series. And
Yeah.
later Torchwood
So-
do come into the show in Journey's End, Stolen Earth and Journey's End.
Yeah, Journey's End. That's right. And it was during the time of the 10th Doctor when Torchwood started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll get into that next time, I think.
Definitely to get next time. Yeah. But this is really a good kickoff for next time and for the live stream. Because there's much to talk about, more about Rose Tyler, about Captain Jack Harkness. So very interesting companions, by the way.
Yeah.
So I will put it in the banner that we will continue the campaigns with Ninth Doctor in another live stream. This is really a
Cool.
kickoff. There's so much to talk about, but because Rose appears in more episodes and is mentioned in more episodes during the New Who era.
Yeah.
And also Captain Jack Harkness is also more things to talk about him, because there are also things that are
He even comes back in the Jodie era, doesn't he?
to what?
Yes,
that's right. Yeah. To the 13th Doctor, we see him last appearance in the 13th Doctor. So there are some he sometimes appears in I think every Matt Smith don't.
No, he doesn't appear in the Moffat era.
Moffat era, he doesn't appear.
No, it's like so when he comes back in the Fugitive of the Jadoon and Revolution of the Daleks, it's like it's a big moment. It's like we've not seen him in ages, and I think a lot of fans were keen to see him back, and they were wondering why he'd not come back in Moffat's era. And then finally, he in Chibnall's era, he finally does come back, and it's kind of it does give the era a lift.
So, but I think for now we will wrap it up.
Okay,
cool. Because we want to discuss more about this very interesting companions. So I want to thank you, Sadeko, for this time.
Well, thanks for having me.
I'm looking forward to see you. I'm looking forward to see you again in another live streams.
Cool.
But you're always welcome, my friends.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
So I want to thank you, and we will see you next time. And I want to thank you all, and enjoy Doctor Who, and enjoy your day. And bye bye, everybody.
take care,
Bye,
everyone.
hi.
Bye now.
Hoi.
Bye.